In the previous tutorial, we learned how to map channels and functions on the Globcon controller. We learn now how to add the tactile feelings, mapping an external MIDI hardware controller to the Globcon controller. We first add a trigger manager to Globcon, selecting among the ones available the model we want to use. In our example, it is a Nikon QCon, but the procedure is exactly the same with any other controller. Once the trigger manager is set and before proceeding with the mapping, it's always a good idea to double-check if the communication among hardware and software is working properly. That's why we select the trigger manager, click on Learn, move some random controls, and see if the relevant commands appear on Globcon. All good. We are now ready to start mapping the external hardware MIDI controller, and we do that from the Remote Controller Mapping panel, the same one we used in the previous tutorial. This time we select the Triggers tab, which offer 4 subtabs: Channels, Functions, Layers, and Navigation. From the Channels subtab, we can map Level, Mute, Solo, Pan, Spill and Fade, Label, Type and Meter. Let's start with the most frequently used, such as Level. We click on Channel 1 Level and select Learn. Then we move one by one the first 8 faders on the Arduino controller. In the list of commands, we notice there are 2 types, since the controller sends both a note on when touching the fader and a pitch band when moving the fader. Since we do not need the note on commands, we delete them all from the list. Double check we have 8 different pitch band command received for 8 different channels, and then we click on Assign All. Immediately, all the hardware faders are synchronized with the Globcon controller. We move on programming the mute buttons, repeating the same operations and pressing one by one all the mute buttons of the hardware controller and assign the receive commands. All the mute status of the Globcon controller are aligned with the hardware buttons, with bidirectional communication. Solo is the next section, pressing one by one the solo buttons on the hardware controller. There are no spill labels buttons on the hardware controller, but the ones having REC printed underneath seems perfect for the purpose. So we proceed in mapping the spill buttons of the Globcon controller using the REC buttons of the hardware controller. Same thing for the fade buttons, for which we use the ones labeled cell on the hardware controller. When testing the spill on the masters, we realized it would be great to have also mapped on the hardware controller the navigation buttons. It happens those buttons are right there, so let's use them. Click on the Navigation subtab. Then, for left, select the Learn command and push the left button on the hardware controller and finally confirm with Assign. Repeat the same for right and Return, choosing the relevant push buttons on the hardware controller. We have now everything we need to fully control, with augmented tactile feelings, our Globcon controller. Looking at the hardware device, there are 8 function buttons which seem perfect for the control of the first 8 functions of the Globcon controller. Let's map a bunch of them and make some tests. In the next tutorial, we will learn how to map an external hardware or software controller using OSE, with clear advantages compared to the MIDI solutions. Powerful, easy, Globcon.